Hello everyone, and welcome to the first spirits review here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. Today I want to present to you one of my favorite summer cocktails, although I have never found it any less worthy any other time of the year. So for this segment, allow me to present to you the St. Germain Spritz. So let me show you how it's made, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. The first thing you need to do is find yourself a bottle of sparkling wine. It doesn't really matter what kind you use, but you definitely don't want to spend too much money for it, but you can use whatever kind you want. You just want to make sure it's dry. The second ingredient that you need is sparkling water, and lastly, and most important, you need the St. Germain liqueur. You also would be aided by this hefty little device, which is actually available from St. Germain, and I'll talk more about that later. So in order to make this drink, you simply follow the guidelines on this little decanter, pour in enough champagne up to the line, let it settle. The next step is you add the appropriate amount of St. Germain. Close that off. And then finally, you top it off with 2 parts sparkling water. Follow the directions on this little container. I prefer San Pellegrino because the bubbles are a little bit softer. You don't want to get something too, because there's already bubbles in the champagne as well. And then you take this and you take a Tom Collins glass filled with ice or whatever glass you want to use. Pour it in. And usually this decanter, if you have the right size glass, will be just enough for one drink. Squeeze off that lemon in it. Let it settle. Oh my. If there was ever something called summer in a glass, this would be it. So let's review again. You need sparkling white wine, although according to the recipe you can substitute any dry wine, maybe like a Sauvignon Blanc or something light like that. You need your St. Germain elderflower liqueur, sparkling water, and a lemon wedge, and plenty of ice in a nice tall glass. So let me talk a little bit about St. Germain. St. Germain is a French liqueur made with fresh elderflowers. Its flavor profile is very sublime, very soft. You'll notice notes of pear, peach, maybe a little grapefruit. I actually get a little bit of honey on the end when I sip it. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's not sweet. This liqueur, let me bring you the bottle. Very fancy looking. You may have seen it. Let me show you the front there. You may have seen it in the liquor stores. It is a very versatile mixer that can be easily used in many concoctions with other spirits. It's 20% alcohol by volume, so make sure, again, you keep in mind how much alcohol you have in your glass. So if all of this sounds exciting, you will need a bottle of St. Germain elderflower liqueur. And I'm going to tell you this, and only once, no substitutes. There are plenty of substitutes that you'll find in the market for a little bit less money, but I'm going to tell you very bluntly, they are garbage. So you can get this one here in PA and probably at Total Wine and wherever else you might shop for your liqueurs. So if you want a refreshing cocktail for your friends over this Memorial Day weekend and anytime afterwards, please go find yourself a bottle of this St. Germain elderflower liqueur. In PA, it's available in 750 milliliter bottles for about $35, or it's available for $20 in 375 milliliter bottles. And again, welcome to my backyard bar. I hope you have a great, safe, and happy Memorial Day. So until next week in our next version, our next wine, our next surprise. Bonne santé, mes amis.